Maroon, this is Boston Blackie and Pinky Lee.
Hello, Waddy. My name is Pinky Lee. Remember that, Pinky Lee?
I do. But we got some more questions, and it always leads into a lot of good stories. So with that, I'll let Judge Danielle start.
It's me. All right. One for Nanny. Ask if you will tell how y'all did your makeup and hair back in the 60s. Now they wanted a video, but she is not gonna do a video with starting out with no makeup and showing the.
Why not?
They wouldn't be able to watch it. Bad enough as it is.
Excuse me.
You mean when we did the real high? Oh my Lord!
Just different ways of how you did your hair in the 60s and the makeup.
Okay, in the 60s, well, when I first started going with Billy, I didn't use. I always loved makeup. I love makeup, and I think anybody, I don't like the natural look. Some people it works for, and some it doesn't. But we started doing makeup and doing our own makeup and experimenting. It was like during the time of the American Bandstand and dance parties and stuff like that. We would see the girls that were on there from like Philadelphia and Los Angeles and places like that, and they wore a lot of the eyeliner. It took it a while to get to Memphis when it started out there, but we started doing our eye makeup and doing the Cleopatra look. Actually, it was liquid, and we would just take a brush and draw it across and then do the top and draw it into a little point and fill in the Cleopatra look doing that. And then they started with the false eyelashes. I can't, I don't wear false eyelashes now. I have some, but I can't. Used to I could get anything on like in 5 minutes because you either were ready or you got left behind, so I learned to get my makeup on. To do the hair, you had to take back comb, they called them back combs.
Curring comb.
Basically. And you would just, everybody just, if they had short hair, it was like back combed, and then they would just smooth over the top layer. And, and you used like a can of hairspray.
You know, like mine here. Like mine.
But we back combed it, and then we smoothed it over. Like if we had the beehive, we would back comb it, put it up, and put it in, into the
And
beehive.
you should have seen the bees.
Yeah. But like I said, you could have gone through a tornado, because I used to go to the fairgrounds, ride the Pippin, and never ride out there. I didn't have a hair that moved out of place. It was so you'd get off the Pippin and your hair would like maybe be leaned one way, but then you just straighten it back.
How long did it take to
do it
to get it back straight? I mean, that was without it being matted. What did you do?
You had to always use we called it
Ironing board and
rinse, some kind of rinse that got the tangles out.
Like a
detangler?
What'd you say?
I said just the ironing board and iron.
Ironing board. Well, hey, that was in style for a while. If you had long hair, which I usually always did, lay it out on the ironing board and put a cloth over it and iron your hair.
Oh,
they did that too.
Did.
No, we did that too. We did all kind of stuff.
So there were no straightening irons.
No,
flat irons like there are now.
That's how they came up, I guess, with the idea of having the flat irons.
Yeah,
but we would wind that hair up, and I know when Priscilla first came over, she had short hair, and then she started to let it grow, and Elvis liked it long, so she had a hairpiece that she wore in the back, and she would go to the beauty shop, and they would do hers up in a big stack of curls on top of her head, and
that's how it went.
Yeah, that's just how it went. It took about an hour to do, so if you were getting ready to go somewhere, we we had to start early to get that hair ratted up. I mean, we looked like, you'd stuck your finger in a socket before you smoothed it all down and got, and like I said, a can of hairspray just about on it
Would do it.
to do it.
How long would a can of hairspray last? A day.
Usually, I used a can of hairspray a week. Cause
I thought it was once a day, all day long.
Once a day, all day long. It was just weird. It was just the times, everybody did it. Then they started with a lot of eyeshadow and and part your hair in the middle, it comes straight down real long. Mm-hmm. We went through that. I look at some of those pictures back today and I think, oh my God, But
a lot of the makeup styles and stuff are
coming back
around.
Yeah. Well, if you live long enough, you get to you get to see history repeat itself. That's my case. We had the big bell-bottom jeans and the cut-off shirts and the hip huggers. And I know the first time I got hip huggers, Billy brought me 2 pair of hip huggers home from Vegas, or one was a pink pair and one was a black pair.
Yeah.
And we thought, we hadn't gotten them back in Memphis yet started, but we wore the hip huggers and then we had the hot pants and the high boots and Lord. Now it's totally comfort. Whatever's comfortable. I don't care if it's in style or not. That's what I'll wear.
Do you have any photos that you know of Uncle Tracy?
I'm trying to think. It seems like in one of our old albums, or maybe your mother's album, we may have.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I'm not sure.
I'd have to go through them and find.
I can still remember exactly what he looks like.
Yeah.
Or he looked like.
I know there's
He was the
some.
character.
Yeah. Anyway, next.
This one is from one of our followers. Her name is Jane Anderson. She says, Billy, my 79-year-old mother, Eloise, from Hammond, Louisiana, told me a story about your dad. It was in 1957, and her cousin, Mary Nita, climbed over a fence that was at Graceland and hid in between 2 AC units. And your dad, who was a gate guard, came towards her. She said, my mom got scared, and Mary Nita said, that's Uncle Travis. Elvis actually came out in a boat captain hat, and he told your dad that it was okay. So Mary Nita Bankston was fortunate enough to have her picture taken with Elvis, while my mom scratched up her knees as she hung over the wall and fence. Elvis actually waved to her. It was your daddy, Uncle Travis, who took this picture in 1957, and she sent the picture.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that hat.
I do. I remember that hat. In pictures and things. I remember he wore a hat
Daddy,
like that.
Daddy always, try to.
All the fans loved your daddy.
Yeah, they hit. If Elvis was available, he'd always try.
They would a lot of times. Billy's mother and daddy would let them come up to his house, and if they didn't have a place to spend the night or something, they'd let them spend the night. And
well, Jane, I like that picture, and
I do too. It was a good picture.
Before this post, I'll shoot you a message and see if it's okay if we post it, because I know everybody will want to see it, of Mary Nita and Elvis. And I wish your mama had been in the picture, or we had one of her trying to get over that, get back over the fence,
hanging from the fence. A lot of people got caught like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, they actually would climb those trees and get up in that tree, and actually jump over if they could.
Or a lot of times
They
they
were-
would get up in there and stay and be
Yeah.
real quiet
Yeah, just
and
to
watch
prevent
as people walk back and forth because there were a lot of trees on the outside of that fence.
see if it'd come out, and all.
It gave them a view of the back of the house, and
How do you all feel about the new package being offered that is called Presley for a Day that costs $6,000 for a group of just 4 people? Do you feel like that is affordable for
Not for the average fan.
people? And
no.
do you think that? I mean, do you really think that that's going to be a big hit, or?
I don't know.
I mean, how do you
Well,
feel about that happening?
I feel like that's for the elite, is I guess. you
Right.
call it.
I mean, that's a
That's
lot of
not-
money.
That's
We
not
sure
for the
couldn't.
average
We couldn't
Elvis
afford that.
fan,
No.
I think it's ridiculous, but then you know how I am about prices at Graceland anyway. I mean, for that much money, Elvis would have to be there, and not the gravesite. I mean,
Right.
to me, that's
Yeah,
just that's almost. It's of course I think it's for what 3
It's
or 4 people?
It's 4 people for $6,000.
But for how what for?
It says
8
Presley for
hours,
a
or-
day, and I do think, and you guys can correct me on it. I'd have to look it up and maybe show, but I think it is like 8 or 10 hours, and there's different like activities that people do around the house, but none of it is. I mean, there's like golf carting, and I think horseback riding and different things like that. It's not like an average day that y'all have described.
I would, I would suggest anybody, if you could afford it,
If you want,
Go
if
for
you
it,
like, if you can,
if
yeah,
it's
I
something
mean,
you want to do,
but,
do it. Yeah, definitely.
But I think maybe they could have a smaller package,
Something
maybe
a little more reasonable,
half a day,
cheaper.
For maybe a cheaper price.
Cheaper price, yeah.
I mean,
But, yeah.
But I mean, definitely, if it's something that you're interested in doing and people you can afford it, it's something to, do for an Elvis fan, but it's just hard to.
That's like, there's only not a whole lot of people that can afford that, especially this day and time.
Right.
And it just, I'd have to be carried upstairs and the whole works if I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay
Who in
it.
the hell's gonna carry you?
I would want to see if I was. If I had
I'd watch my wording here.
if I had never seen the upstairs and Lisa's room, and I don't even know if I'd pay that much then, but that's their price.
Right.
If you want, you either have to pay it
or don't
that's
pay
like that's like movies and things now.
Yeah,
God,
everything's very
you go to a movie, it's like almost $100 to see the movie and get the refreshments that I like. The refreshments are usually more than the movie. So prices are on everything are crazy. Isn't that right?
Yes, ma'am.
We
That is
have-
right. I agree with you 100%.
We have a viewer, Mr. Paul Glasanos, and he says, first of all, he loves the show and he never misses one episode. So we thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for
Thank
that.
all of you.
And he says that he feels like it was very disrespectful for no one in the family showing up, or people such as yourself not being asked to accept the Medal of Freedom
I do too.
that Elvis was given by the
I do
president of the United States. And they just feel like, a lot of people have said that they just feel like it was just very disrespectful and dishonorable to not have a family member or someone
To be
show
honest,
up
I
and
think
get it.
Lisa should have done that. I think that would have been, and I don't know why in the world she didn't. It could have been, she could have been sick or something, but I don't think it was really Priscilla's place.
Right.
But I do think that it should have been Lisa or Riley or Benjamin, somebody close, or that was or Billy, or anybody, or Patsy, anybody that was
That
Yeah.
was close and family or
that blood,
kin.
some kind of family should have been there to do that.
Yeah.
Where did that award end up? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Is
Yeah,
I
we
wonder
don't know.
if it's at Graceland. I just wonder. I mean, if anybody knows,
Oh,
comment.
I'm sure it would.
Yeah.
Would be, you know.
Yeah.
I
It's a
just-
great honor, and
Right.
you know, he
Yeah,
would
if
have
you've
been so
seen
proud.
it, if anybody has seen it going on any of the tours, put it in the comments
He
if
would
you've
have
seen
wore
it
it
and
for-
where.
For I don't.
You think he would have worn it around?
Yeah,
I think he would have accepted it.
I do
Be
too.
honest
If he had been
Oh, yeah.
here, he
Live
would
and
have
all.
accepted it. Yes, that would have been a great honor to him.
Yep.
All right.
He was proud of things like that.
Yeah.
You know, he was really proud of acceptance.
All right. I'm getting some messages because I flipped from a post to messages, and they have.
I'm gonna say hello to all my cousins down in Florida, and in Paris, and in Oxford,
in Paris, Mississippi.
Paris, Mississippi.
Not Paris, France. Yeah.
Oh, we may have some over there. We just don't know
You
it.
just don't know it.
Or
Okay.
she may have. But
Out of all of the books written by those in Elvis's close circle who personally knew him, which books are the most accurate and which ones are not recommended at all?
Of course, I'm gonna say the Memphis Mafia.
Yeah, Revelations.
Revelations of the Memphis Mafia. But I don't, you know, the thing about it is, like me and Billy have talked about this, or Billy and I, we're Southern, me and Billy, but we've talked about it, and everybody had a right, if they wanted to write a book as long as they told the truth. I think I don't see anything wrong with anybody telling their story if it's true and they didn't exaggerate or use somebody else's experience to put themselves in it, which a lot of them did. But do you see anything? I don't. I
No.
mean, whatever books or we to
mean,
be
you
honest,
know,
we don't read a lot of them.
you write one yourself if you ought to.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the fans wrote books that
Yeah.
it was their experience, and you know,
Right.
Yeah.
that's the way each person saw it. And now I'm not saying the fans, I'm saying some of the people that wrote books exaggerated and, you know, didn't even happen to
Or
them.
often, put themselves
Excuse
in
but in somebody else's
situations.
place.
Yeah.
Well, I've been told that that's what y'all do.
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, you know, like I can say, whoever said that, they don't know what to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't been personally told that because they would have been, cussed out. But it was sent to me that it was said that that's what, as they're referred to, this meeting.
And I know what you're talking about, but you know, we don't read a lot of books, and we don't know what people put in their book as the truth, and so we tell things that happen to us, and
the way
we don't
we saw
know
things,
that
yeah.
they've already told, and they're the ones.
Yeah.
So that's what happened that time. We were told by Elvis why he did what he did.
Right.
And I guess because he didn't want to tell them that's why he did that, or because he wasn't, he wouldn't hurt your feelings unless he was really ticked off or something. But what we said about that situation, I know what you're talking about, is what he told us,
Right.
what he said to us. So,
Right.
and we
that's
thought
all
it was funny.
That's all that you can do is tell what
That's
what
right.
you were told, and if somebody else was told something different,
And
you
we-
tell that. But it's not like it's a bickering match back and forth. You know.
I'm glad you said that, because I am so sick and tired of I'm going to call them shit stirrers.
Yeah.
And that's what they
Yeah,
are.
you can't say that
Yes,
on
I
here.
can, and they do.
I hadn't said
They
it.
will see something that we said and then go to somebody else and
Yeah.
say, she said so-and-so, or he said so-and-so,
Yeah.
and it's back and forth, back and forth. You know, they tell their story.
Oh, I
we
love that
tell
kind
ours.
of stuff, man. I
Drama.
just can't wait to
I mean,
get
what's
the
the
drama out.
point? You know, we're old. People are old. Most of the people that were around Elvis are old, and people that are coming up, those old people should tell the truth, because if they know for a fact things that happened, tell it like it really was, because you're changing history. You're
Right.
changing the story of a great legend,
Right.
you know, and it's just, you know, I don't care what anybody does, or we're not doing anything or telling anything to try to hurt anybody. We don't, you know, we don't do things for revenge. Now, if somebody really pisses me off, I'm going to have to, I'll say something, you know, ugly.
Direct.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a likable person. Don't you like me?
I love you. Yes, I will. Yes.
I like it. I like most everybody.
If I didn't like you, I would have kept you around this long.
All right.